Day 54 of scaling my AI agency from $0 to $100,000. We're currently at $6,000 cash collected. Just had something come through to the pipeline today. I'm going to break everything down for you guys today in this video. What I did today, what I'm looking at here, what I'm pursuing here as we get into fueling the machine and starting to scale the machine here, moving into the back half of the month. Put this into XP. You're going to get a lot of value from this video. Let's jump right into what we did today. So as I was saying in yesterday's video, March Madness, biggest time of the year. I feel like the whole country almost shuts down, at least in this first weekend. There's just so much action. There's so much shit happening. You almost just shut down. So we've kind of lowered our ad spend a little bit. CPMs are a little higher than we want them to be right now. So we're trying to lower those down. Kind of the strategy behind that is start spending less within your ad set. If your CPMs are high, Meta is going to naturally bring you better CPMs. Because they want you to spend more. So it's a great way to get the CPMs to go down. So we're going to be doing that. And I personally think that's just because of March, bro. It's like, who's booking a call with us this weekend, bro? With March Madness going on, no one's booking calls this weekend. I'm sorry to say it. It's probably just a slow week for a lot of people. And, I could be wrong, but I think that's just a great estimation that I can have here. Clients super busy. There's just so much going on this weekend. It's just such a big weekend in sports. Everyone's doing something and no one's going to be at least booking a call this weekend. I think it's a good time to get leads and stuff like that. But I don't know. People are going to be scrolling for sure. I think from a residential perspective, it's a good time. But for us with our direct response, may not be, but who knows? We still are spending on ads. We are starting fulfillment for the deal that we did materialize. I'm not going to count it as 6K to this cash collected. I guess I can. I'm going to count it to this cash collected. It's a 5K deal. So we are currently at, I'm going to count it because it's just a different payment structure, but we're still making the cash that I've anticipated. So I'm going to count it. We're at 1K cash collected, boys. We just moved up the ladder. We're 11% there. Freaking huge. Actually so sick. So it does count because it is a video project, which I think is a very big, it's a great avenue to be in. We know it really well. We've done it in the past. All of our advertisements are very AI heavy and AI can create really good videos. So it's a really good angle for right now in our eyes to kind of keep pushing. But it's part of an AI agency. So I'm going to count it in there. So we have moved up to 11% here. Comp structure is just a little different. It's a unique deal. I don't want to say too much about it. It's from a warmer contact here that we know within our network, and we're actually, pretty close. So yeah, worked out really well. Starting fulfillment for that here. We're going to get that delivered here before the end of the month. Should be relatively simple. Should be able to get it done here going into next week. Kind of just doing all the prep, starting the content side of things and going from there. So that's going to be the plan there, getting that fulfillment started. And then we're going to plan the content marketing. So this is something I want to talk about here in this video. I know I've been kind of having this on the radar, but I want to make sure I'm doing it right. And I think the best angle you can kind of take here is like personal brand. And this is kind of where I'm like, personal brand is what you're seeing right now, but a personal brand for the agency specific content. It doesn't have to be personal brand. I'll show you an example of somebody that I kind of want to model on the content side. Like I could simply do this, which I think it's going to be best to at least get some pictures that are relevant on our brand here, because we can easily do this with Google AI Studio. I'm already very well vested into that. So I'm going to find the account for you guys. So it's called scaleyourclinic.us. This is what Wyatt Roderick and them, I think this is their company they're running, but he's kind of running videos like this.
Helped countless, well over 300 businesses and practices just like yours scale with very simple systems, not confusing.
Look like, and yeah, maybe get some of these image ones as well in there, some like proof stuff. I think that's good, just simple like that. And then obviously having videos on there. He's starting to do the videos. He's getting views, which is kind of crazy. Good views. I don't know if they're running them as ads, but that could be really sick. So I think that's a good structure for us to kind of go with. I like the name that they have of this company as well. It's very on brand to who they're targeting, which is obviously clinics, stem cell clinics. So niche, bro. Crazy niche. That's where that looks like. This is kind of how I'm going to probably model the content marketing. Like I said, I really want to just start on the short form side and then definitely get into the long form, because I was listening to this guy that exited his marketing agency, which is kind of different than an AI agency, I guess, but nowadays you can call them AI agencies, I guess. It's essentially, he said that him building his personal brand around his business was super beneficial. Somehow he still exited. I know that's a difficult thing for people when they are building businesses that's tied to their personal brand. It's harder for someone to come in and actually want to purchase that business or take over that business, because it could be solely tied to that person and that brand. So it's harder to sell. But getting the personal brand in to kind of scale the agency is super huge. Just kind of fully identifies the person that specializes in this lane. We're really good at running advertisements for like high ticket. I think home remodeling is a really good niche as well. Like this is basically the same thing. So kind of keeping that structure in more of a, like we could be, I still like going for the AV side of things, but I think still being more like it can kind of, the system can work for anybody, which is what's so cool about it. But at the same time, you don't want to work for anybody. You don't want to provide for anybody, right? At least not in the beginning. So I think making the content marketing obviously super specific to this, but eventually we can start going more full scale and start kind of tapping into remodeling as well. Cause I think you can kind of bring those people in the same spot. You wouldn't be able to do the same VSL and funnel, but could still work to bring in some leads. But getting the personal brand in, getting the strategy behind that and kind of tying that into the agency, because I think that's super important. Obviously getting the content marketing to kind of coexist with the ads, and then we can eventually start getting a lot of free organic leads from that. So we're not sitting here solely relying on paid, and we can start turning on other acquisition funnels as well. And getting some testimonials right now is super huge for us too. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. But getting into that tomorrow is going to be into the weekend. I know March Madness is pretty still for us. There's going to be a lot less games on Saturday, Sunday. So it's going to be more focused throughout the day. But definitely starting to think about this. How can we start kind of working through this thought process of putting this together and getting the strategy behind it? And then AI media is the future. This is something that I'm super bullish on. I think AI media is really good for a lot of things. It's so good to the point where it's going to be very competitive and you're going to have a very high standard when it comes to AI media. There's so much you can do with AI media. Like you can literally create anything you want. And it's such a powerful tool for a marketer to have their hands on, right? So I truly believe that providing AI media services is going to be a big thing coming up here. If you can find a good use case that really streamlines a process to where like you can use AI to create media cheaper and more efficiently than you would if you would hire someone else to try to create that media. There's a really good arbitrage opportunity in there with AI media and having a service that's tied into that. That's basically a part of our offer. And it's a big piece to actually making everything work on that creative side, which is one of the most important ways and probably is the most important thing that actually makes your ads work. So that's what I'm seeing with AI media. Obviously, we've proved the concept really well for ourselves. And then also with getting a deal done here today was super huge. So super excited to get this fulfilled and put together, because this could turn into something that we could start, pushing in sync with what we're already doing, and could be a lot easier of a sell too, because it's just a kind of it's something that, depending on how you structure it, but for us, it's just we're building something, an asset for a business that can save them so much time and they can use it forever, right, across multiple areas. So that's why it's so valuable for $5,000, and that's why that's kind of the use case we found our media in. But it can tie into so many different things. So AI media is the future. Definitely look into this if you're an agency and you want to start branching into other services and more value additives for your clients. AI media for social media management is really cool. I think AI media also in general for marketing and other assets for businesses to use for their website, things of that nature. You can make stunning AI media if you have a good system behind it. So tomorrow we're going to kind of outline the fulfillment for the AI media video that we were going to be creating. So we're going to get that fulfilled, at least start the process there. We already have like a demo we've made. We've already proved the concept. We just really need to take the assets we have and start putting them in place and start generating the videos and kind of just starting to move through that process and getting the whole video piece together. And then also getting some follow-ups done for Friday. It's Friday follow-ups. We got to get that done here. And then branding, positioning, and strategy. So kind of personal brand, kind of just brand of the business in general, kind of just starting to think through that, figuring out how we can kind of implement a strategy for the brand, the agency, as we start to scale here, because you can only get so far without a brand. You need a brand nowadays to actually make things happen and actually scale and get in front of the right people. And then March Madness, we're going into it with a lot of momentum. Had a couple, Ohio State screwed us today, but we have a decent amount of momentum going into tomorrow. We have a lot of teams we really like tomorrow, so we have some bankroll to put down tomorrow, and then Saturday, Sunday is kind of the main slate that we like, because seeing the teams that played in the round of 64 and knowing who's good, knowing who's not, is a really good way to get a good idea of how things are going to play out in the round of 32. So we're going to still have that in the background tomorrow, and then also funnel optimize. I have a couple simple small things I want to do based on the funnels that I'm kind of starting to mirror and look at a little bit. I've been doing a lot of market research lately. I want to just simplify the form a little bit. I think simplifying the description of the calendar a little bit as well, and just making it simpler on the calendar side, and kind of just doing a couple small, simple critiques that just make it all in all just a better funnel and more optimized for the traffic we're already coming into with. So that's what I'm going to do there. That's the plan. This was day 54. We have officially crossed the 5-figure mark. We're 11% of the way there. Super exciting for this series to finally get out of the 6K stink hole. We've been at this number for, God, like 40 days in this series now. So it's exciting to be past that number. Let's freaking go, boys. Huge day today on day 54. Tomorrow's going to be a great one as well. We got a lot of things are prioritized in the morning, and then once March Madness starts, we're going to be kind of tuning into that, and then obviously getting some things done on the side as well. Keep in mind, we're doing this. We just had a little stall. We're still moving. We're still working out here. You guys know that. This would probably be like the weekend where I'm like the most kind of, it would be different if we didn't have our funnel launch. It'd be different if we didn't have a proof of concept. It would be different if we don't have any fires to put out anywhere. Okay. So there's a reason why we're kind of starting to put our heads into kind of March Madness a little bit more. It's not because we're getting lazy. It's because we see an opportunity to accelerate cash flow for our business within that vehicle. As silly as it sounds, we see that opportunity there because it's a huge opportunity based on the amount of volume you can actually, it's just like a giant market window, right? It's just a window of opportunity, and we're going to try to make the most of it with what we have. And yeah, we're staying locked in. So hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, follow the journey, comment down below if you have any questions, thoughts, or insights for me. I would love to hear from you. And then DM me on Instagram if you want to connect with me in the description. We'll see you guys for day 55. Let's keep this momentum rolling. See you in the next one.